Hi everyone, Miss Tiffany here with another story for you today. The stories I'm choosing this week all have something to do with planting or flowers or blooming. So I'm very excited for the stories I have. And the first one is one of my favorite garden books, and it's called The Curious Garden. And it's written and illustrated by Peter Brown. The Curious Garden. Ooh, look at this. One of my favorite title pages too. The Curious Garden. See how the letters are all shaped out of bricks and branches and leaves? He's using scissors to trim them up. Once there was a city without gardens or trees or greenery of any kind. Most people spent their time indoors, as you can imagine. It was a very dreary place. Oh my goodness, the sky's all gray. Everything's kind of a grayish, greenish, yucky kind of looking color. However, there was one boy who loved being outside. Even on drizzly days while everyone else stayed inside, you could always find Liam happily splashing through his neighborhood. It was on one such morning that Liam made several surprising discoveries. He was wandering around the old railway, as he did from time to time, when he stumbled upon a dark stairwell leading up to the tracks. The railway had stopped working ages ago, and since Liam had always wanted to explore the tracks, there was only one thing for the curious boy to do. What do you think he did? Wow. Liam ran up the stairs, pushed open the door, and stepped out onto the railway. The first thing he saw was a lonely patch of color. See right here? Wildflowers and plants were the last thing he had expected to find up there. But when he took a closer look, it became clear that the plants were dying. They needed a gardener. Look, the leaves are all brown, the grass is dried up. They need a gardener. Who do you think the gardener might be? Do you think it might be Liam? Let's see. Liam may not have been a gardener, but he knew that he could help. So he returned to the railway the very next day and got to work. The flowers nearly drowned, too much water. And he had a few pruning problems. Pruning is where you cut the leaves on bushes. But the plants patiently waited while Liam found better ways of gardening. Wow, look what happened. He's singing some songs for his plants. As the weeks rolled by, Liam began to feel like a real gardener, and the plants began to feel like a real garden. Wow, look. It's starting to kind of get a little bigger, huh? Most gardens stay in one place, but this was no ordinary garden. With miles of open railway ahead of it, the garden was growing restless. It wanted to explore. The tough little weeds and mosses were the first to move. They popped up farther and farther down the tracks and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. Wow, look. Over here too. Over the next few months, Liam and the Curious Garden explored every corner of the railway. Wow, those plants really grew. Look at how happy Liam looks standing in the middle of his flowers. I see butterflies, birds, and look at the sky. Do you notice how the sky is changing a little bit? It's gone all the way down the tracks. After spending his spring and summer and autumn with the garden, Liam's time on the railway was finally interrupted by winter. Heavy blankets of snow fell on the city that season, and for the first time since he'd become a gardener, Liam could not visit the plants. Oh, look at him over here. He's looking rather sad. Not sure what to do. Rather than waste his winter worrying about the garden, Liam spent it preparing for spring. He's reading a book. He's reading a book to learn about being a gardener and how to garden. After 3 cold months, the snow finally began to melt, and Liam rolled his new gardening gear over to the railway. Wow, look at that. Got a wheelbarrow, watering can, a rake, a shovel, his gardening book, got gloves, got a hat, got all his gear. Winter had taken a toll on the garden. Oh no, look. So this is right after the snow melted and all the grass is brown and you don't really see many flowers at all. But thanks to Liam's planning, his handy new tools, and a little help from the sun, the plants soon awoke from their winter sleep. Wow, the birds singing right along with him. The garden had always wanted to explore the rest of the city, and that spring it was finally ready to make its move. Once again, the tough little weeds and mosses set out first. Oh, it's going over the edge! They popped up farther and farther from the railway and were closely followed by the more delicate plants. The garden was especially curious about old and forgotten things. It grew inside this old abandoned car. It's growing inside this broken window of a building. A few plants popped up where they didn't belong. We can't be blocking our stop signs, right? Can't be winding around our fire hydrants. But others mysteriously popped up all at once. Like someone delivered a little flower pot to that man. This guy's adding some flowers out of his wheelbarrow here. I think that might be lamb. I don't know. But the most surprising thing that popped up were the new gardeners. Look, all these people wanted to be a gardener, just like Liam. Look, he has a whole line of people behind him. They all want to learn how to garden too. So many nice things to look at this page. Someone having a picnic, jumping on lily pads. Oh, look at that. The stairs are covered in grass. I bet that feels so nice on that person's toes. And these people used their pruning shears to cut these bushes into the shapes of animals. Many years later, the entire city had blossomed. But of all the new gardens, Liam's favorite was where it all began. So look, now this is Liam. He's a dad now. Here's his son, the mom, his daughter. They're all gardening together. And that is the end. Wow, look at how much the city's changed. This is what I like to do. I like to look at the first page and then turn to the last page. So look, this is before. And look how it's changed. Wow. I would much rather spend my day in this city, right? Everyone started gardening. I hope you liked my first flower springtime gardening book for the week. I have more planned ahead, so check back in, and I will see you next time. Bye.